Usitie shaka, najua shughuli za maisha zinakuwa nyingi kidogo, lakini tutapambana nazo vile vile tu. So nashukuru kwa mzima na pia nina furaha sana kukuona. Yes.
Mimi pia.
Yes.
Habari Liz. Uko mzima?
Nzuri, habari yako?
Niko salama, asante. Kila kitu kiko sawa. Oh, Jed, habari.
Jed,
Jed, uko mute. Siwezi kukusikia.
Samahani, I thought I'm muted. I didn't know my video was on. Sorry.
Usijali.
Okay. Yes, so karibu sana kwenye hili darasa la leo. So natumai wote mko wazima. Marina, uko na sisi kweli? Marina? Okay. So Marina, sijui kama uko na sisi, but nitaendelea. So najaribu kuangalia hapa, ndio naendelea na darasa. So mmekuwaje weekend? Si weekend. Tuseme wiki imekuwa vipi? Because najua juma ngapi? Jumanne watu hawakuweza kuhudhuria kwa masaa yanayotakikana, so hawakuweza kuhudhuria. So sijui ilikuwa vipi, but kwangu imekuwa vizuri wiki, shughuli hapa na pale za maisha, but nashukuru kabisa pia kuwaona na kusikia pia kutoka kwenyu. Yes. So mmekuwaje? Wiki imekuwaje?
Amuel, pole. Nadhani sauti yako ni low.
Iko chini? Ama mimi ndio naongea nikuwa chini kabisa. Nilikuwa nimeihakikisha iko tu sawa. Sauti iko sawa. Mimi ndio naongea pole kabisa leo. So sauti yangu nimefungana kidogo na dalili ya mafua. So I have dalili means like signs of a flu. So na dalili ya mafua, nasikia kidogo koo lenyewe inauma kidogo, nimefungana kidogo, I'm a little bit yes. So nitasema hivyo. Lakini nitaongeza sauti. Natumai nikiongeza sauti tutaweza kusikizana. Alafu tutaendelea. Yes. So nadhani hiyo iko sawa, sivyo? Yes, okay. So how was your week? How is everything? Because this, I know, not everybody is able to keep up with a lot of Swahili in this session. So I'm just putting you ready to see how many people understand the conversation. But I'll say that how was your week? How was everything? Because last Tuesday we did not have a session for most of the people. Did not show up. Well, I was only with Marina. And yeah, so only me and Marina. And so I'm just here. So last time since Thursday. So how have you been?
Sawa. Wiki, unasema wiki iliyopita?
Hii wiki imekuwaje this week? How is everything like this week? So because I know that last Tuesday, this Tuesday that passed, so we did not have a lot of people. So only me and Marina, and this came about some time. When I was I had already finished up, I was crossing up the meetup. So that is when they showed up. And I'm like asking like, how was your week? Because I've not seen most of you, since last week. So how is your week? How was your weekend? Things like that. Okay? That is what I mean. Sijui kama inaeleweka. Is it understandable?
So wiki yenye shughuli nyingi.
Yeah.
Shughuli. What's shughuli is busy? Is that right?
Shughuli means like things to do.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Yes. Shughuli means like things to do. So ukisema shughuli nyingi means like there's a lot of things to do. Things to do.
Kwa mfano, Liz, unaweza kusema nina shughuli nyingi leo. Nina shughuli nyingi leo. Niko busy kidogo. Niko busy au niko busy sana.
Oh, leo ni shughuli or shughuli kwa meeting mkutano mkutano funza watoto yeah. So I have some meetings and I have to teach some children.
Sawa.
Did I say anything like that?
Yes. So yes, so you can say leo na shughuli ya mkutano na kufundisha watoto. Yes. Yes, so it's okay. Yes. Iko tu sawa kabisa. So pia Marina sijui kama anatusikia. So Jed, habari yako?
Habari yako ama?
Kama nani? Nzuri kabisa. Yes, unaendeleaje?
Nasema
Okay.
nimekuwa na mvua mengi wiki iliyopita na baridi. So indoors. Nothing, no going out, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, safi.
Jet, sikiliza. Leo ni mara moja nimeona picha yako. Zamani sijaona picha yako.
Mara moja ama mara ya kwanza?
Unanielewa?
Mara moja ama mara ya kwanza? Eduardo, na swali, ya kwanza ama mara moja? Kuna tofauti?
Pole. Ni mara ya kwanza, pole. Ni mara ya kwanza nimeona picha yako. Kwa sababu mara nyingi au hunionyeshi kamwe picha yako. Iko sahihi? Hunionyeshi picha yako kamwe. You never showed your image.
Sijaona. Haujaonyesha. It's not, yes, it's more hujaonyesha. Haujanionyesha. It's, yes.
Hujanionyesha.
Hujanionyesha.
Hujanionyesha. Okay, asante. Hujanionyesha picha yako. Lakini unaonekana vizuri. Ndio, bila shaka.
Okay, sawa.
Mara moja.
Yes,
Pole
mara
ya kwanza. Pole.
So big difference. Yes.
Nitakutumia Eduardo.
Labda
Yeah, Eduardo.
Ndio.
Yeah.
Okay. So tutaendelea. So so leo natumai, okay, leo ningependa tuongee kuhusu lugha. So najua lugha watu wengi hapa, so most of the people wanaongea lugha mbalimbali. They speak different languages. Kama Jeda naongea karibu lugha 6 hivi 5. Eduardo angalau unajua unaongea lugha kama 3 4. Pia Marina vile vile. Pia Liz angalau lugha 4 5, unajua. So all of us, we speak very many languages. Tunaongea lugha mbalimbali. So leo nikipenda tuongee kuhusu, tuseme, mambo ambayo tumepitia kujifundisha hizi lugha. Halafu pia tunaweza shiriki kuhusu, tuseme, mawaidha. Mawaidha means like advice kuhusu kusoma hizi lugha, na pia njia ambazo tunatumia kusoma hizi lugha, like the strategies. Yes. Kitu kama hicho. Tunaelewana kweli? Do we understand each other?
Ndio.
Tuko pamoja?
Ndio. Nina swali. Experience katika Kiswahili ni uzoefu, sawa? Uzoefu.
Yes, we have uzoefu, but also we can say ujuzi, which is a little bit about experience, but also it can be expertise. Uzoefu. Uzoefu, but also you can say ujuzi. Yes, kujua, kutokana na kujua. Yes, so uzoefu, you can say. So sometimes they are used interchangeably, but we have, of course, uzoefu. So uzoefu. Then also we can say ujuzi. Okay, so which means like that is experience, but also it can, for ujuzi, uzoefu can be used as experience, but also we can say interchangeably, but you can also say expertise. So expertise. I don't know if that is right, but yeah. So yes, uzoefu / ujuzi. Yes.
Uzoefu. Sawa sawa.
Ninafikiri ni vigumu kujifunza lugha.
Kwa nini ikakuwa ngumu? Why is it difficult? Kwa nini unafikiria ni ngumu?
Kwa sababu mwaka nyingi ni zina what? Or I think age makes it difficult. Age.
Umri. Unasema umri umri unafanya ngumu kujifunza lugha fulani. Well,
Yes, yes. So what she means, it's languages. So languages take a lot of years to get to learn them, but also the age at which they were learning the language. So that is what she is trying to explain. Anajaribu kuelezea hiyo miaka na pia umri. So kwa sababu mara nyingi ukiangalia lugha yoyote, most of the time when you look at any language, watu wengi wanaanza kusoma lugha tuseme kutoka kama miezi 9 hivi ndio wanaanza kusikiliza lugha, alafu wanaanza kujaribu kuongea karibia miaka miwili. So they start trying to speak when they are almost 2 years. So wako tayari na akiba ya maneno. They already have like a lot of words in their brain, which like the mom and dad, they have already been speaking, and the neighbors. So wana akiba ya maneno. They already have that. Then wanajaribu kuongea, alafu inawachukua karibu miaka zingine 5 ama 6 kuweza kujifundisha. So like it takes them another 5 years or 6 years to get to understand most of the stuff, in the language. By the time they get to go to up to like grade 3-ish, that is where you find the child is grasping like a lot of there's a complex concepts in the languages. So that's why Liz anasema inachukua miaka mingi na pia umri. So you find like sisi na uzima wetu unapata kwa sababu ya shughuli nyingi, pia tuna mawazo mengi, na pia tuna tuseme wasiwasi mwingi wa maisha, unapata hatuna nafasi ya kusoma lugha kama vile tungesoma lugha tukiwa ndogo. We don't have a lot of opportunities because of many factors as we grow older. We have stresses of life, we have our jobs, we have a lot of things which are preventing us to learn the languages like we were very young. Nadhani kitu kama hicho. Yeah, it explains that. Najua, inaeleweka. Sivyo Liz?
Yeah, watoto kujifunza lugha rahisi kwa sababu ubongo it's ready for learning.
Uko tayari. Uko tayari kwa kujifundisha ama kusoma. Yes.
Watoto. Bila shaka.
Yes. Yes. Ubongo, but also you can say akili. So akili. So akili.
Akili.
Yes. Like we have kids, right? Ubongo, akili. So sometimes you can use them interchangeably. Like the way in English you can say like the brain. So because the ubongo itself, it can be the brain matter. Akili can mean like, that kind of decision-making factor in the ubongo, but we use them interchangeably, right? Yes.
Is it like brain and mind? Like your mind versus like, your brain?
Yeah, yes, but think about ubongo, it's like the brain matter itself, like the brain matter in your head. Kwa sababu kama kwa mfano, tukisema you are going for like a brain surgery, right? So tunasema unaenda kwa upasuaji wa ubongo, the brain matter itself, right? But yes, but also in Swahili unaweza ambiwa tumia ubongo wako. It means like use your brain matter, you have it, so use it. So maybe you're not using it, but it's a way to say like your brains. Then when we say akili, so we can also say it's the same as brains and the decision making. I'm forgetting the English equivalent of, yes, but it's still brain still, yes. Yes. It's always very
tunasema pia afya ya akili, mental health, afya ya akili.
Yes. Yes. Afya ya akili, mental. Yeah. So, yeah. So, what about you, Eduardo? So, what are like some of the obstacles, like let's say the experiences of learning languages for you? You already speak Spanish as your first language, and I know that you have been learning Swahili for quite a while, almost 3, 4, 5 years now. And also you have been learning a little bit about Yoruba, you know, somewhere in between there. You have been learning other languages, you learn a little bit of French somewhere there. So how has been your experience learning the languages?
Bila shaka, okay. Kwanza naweza kusema kwangu kujifunza lugha ni ni kitu kizuri kwa sababu nafurahia sana kujifunza na kuwa uzoefu kwa lugha mbalimbali. Lakini nadhani kuna matatizo mengi kwa lugha, kwa mfano umri au mwaka, pia labda subiri kidogo, sijui ili kusema hiyo. Kwa mfano tunajaribu o tunajifunza Kiswahili, lakini kuna tatizo moja, hatuishi Afrika, kwa hiyo kuna mambo mengi hatujui kuhusu utamaduni. Kwa mfano hatuna nafasi kuelewa lugha kwa mambo mengi. How can I say in its entirety? Kwa yote, kwa sababu Afrika.
Ufasaha. Unakumbuka jina ufasaha?
Ufasaha. Okay, sawa, kwa ufasaha. Kwa sababu Kiswahili kinazungumzwa Afrika Mashariki, lakini angalau mimi na Liz na Marina na Darwin na wengine hatuishi Afrika. Kwa hiyo ingekuwa vigumu sana kwangu kuelewa na kuzungumza lugha kwa ufasaha. Bila shaka tuna rasilimali YouTube, TikTok, lakini hiyo kitu is not the same thing. Sio kitu sawa, is not the same thing. Wenzangu, mnanielewa? Do you understand what I said? Was that clear?
Yes, we understand you. So,
you're saying that if you don't go to Africa, you cannot learn at the same deep level.
Exactly, at the same level. Exactly.
Yeah, so I'll say that this, maybe I can explain a little bit in English. So you find that Eduardo is saying that, for example, for him, he gave an example with like Swahili or African languages because I touched about that. So Eduardo is trying to learn a little bit of, let's say he speaks better Swahili than I do, but also there's a time he was learning like Yoruba and some other languages in Africa. But he was saying that we may have all the resources that we need in the online like this, but it does not exactly explain, you know, small linguistic nuances, cultural differences, and that you know, they are exhibited by the natives in wherever they are. So you find that when you need to understand this language, you may understand the language, but you don't get to those like deep levels of understanding that language because you are a little bit disconnected from the origins of that language. So that is like one of the challenge because you might find like in any language, even now, I know that there's many things that like let's say linguistic nuances that we may speak with a person who lives like, even if they live in Tanzania like this, but even if we have a little bit of different accent like this, but because of the cultural differences, you find that we understand each other and it makes sense. But for somebody trying to learn the language, it does not make sense at all because they have that disconnect when it comes to those kind of small things. Yes, I think we are together.
Ndio, tuko pamoja bila shaka.
Yes.
Kwa sababu, okay, zamani hapana kwa sasa. Zamani nilijaribu kujifunza Kihausa kidogo tu, lakini Kihausa sio kigumu sana, lakini sijui kuna rasilimali mtandaoni, lakini sio kitu sawa. It's not the same thing, even though it's difficult. Because maybe, okay, I'll say this in English, the materials that we used to have, let's talk about 10 years ago, even before the pandemic. Now we have an explosion of resources. I think that just YouTube is enough. The thing is that sometimes how the videos are done, what they teach, it's okay, but it doesn't reflect how you can say in your daily life. Also, there's something interesting about languages. The language was originated in a specific part of the world. So sometimes being away from that context is difficult because the way that you want to see your life cannot be like established in the context where you live. So the context where the language is spoken is unique, and it belongs to that place. Even, you know, it's an intertwined with the nature, with everything, with the surroundings, the people, you know, how the people react. So, you know, it's really complex. So of course you can learn a language by using YouTube. It's possible, but it's mostly like from the linguistic point of view, it will be very hard for a teacher to transmit all the cultural nuances and all the religious context, you know, private life. And I don't even believe that ChatGPT can do that. I don't think that can work in a linguistic point of view, but ChatGPT cannot transmit all the immensity, the richness that a language has, especially indigenous languages.
Yeah, really.
Sahihi.
By the yes, so nitaongeza hapo kwa sababu, kwa mfano, kuna rafiki yangu fulani nimemfundisha Kiswahili kwa muda, so she already understands good amount of Swahili, na pia kwa sababu amekuja hapa Kenya, tumeenda sehemu tofauti za Kenya, so Kiswahili chake naweza sema at least angalau sasa anaelewa mambo mengi. Lakini ilifika wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunaenda tuseme eneo la mlima Kenya, so Mount Kenya region, so ambapo watu wanaongea Kikuyu. So Kikuyu ni mojawapo ya lugha ambayo anaongea, lakini najaribu kumfundisha Kikuyu akiwa kule Uingereza. So unapata hii lugha, hata akitafuta nyimbo za Kikuyu, kuna maneno ambayo unapata mimi kumjaribu kumtafsiria kwa Kiswahili ama kumtafsiria haya maneno kwa Kiingereza inakuwa ngumu. Unapata lile neno, unapata neno ambalo linakaribia close enough, but alielezei kila kitu. So unapata, lakini tuseme wakati ambapo alipata nafasi akakuja akakaa huku karibu miezi mitatu, so nilijaribu kumfundisha Kikuyu karibu mwaka mmoja, hakuweza kuelewa mambo mengi, lakini wakati ambapo aliweza kutoka huko Uingereza akakuja hapa Kenya, akaketi hilo eneo karibu miezi mitatu, alijifundisha mambo mengi, karibu mara 10 ya mambo ambayo nilikuwa nimemfundisha, kwa sababu ya kuangalia kuangalia matumizi ya neno, kuangalia matumizi ya vitu tofauti tofauti, na ilikuwa ni jambo nzuri kabisa kwake pia, ambalo lilimsaidia pia kuweza kujikuza kwenye hiyo lugha. Is it a lot of Swahili? I know I'm speaking a lot of Swahili, but does it make sense? I know Eduardo and Jed, they are just happy, but I don't know if they are very happy with me with Marina. But I have this friend from the UK, so I taught her Swahili for quite a while. But she, of course, she was already coming to Kenya, and also with contact with a lot of Kenyan persons. So with her, I would say, improving her Swahili, it was very okay for her because she has contact even in the UK with people, and also she was coming to Kenya. But when she got Swahili to like a good, decent level, which she can manage even if she came to Kenya to speak with the people, like ask for prices and those kind of stuff, she was like, I want to learn my mom language, but also the mom was very busy, and it was like, yo, Amwell, I know that you speak this language. Can you teach my daughter this and this language? So the elder daughter and the younger daughter, although the younger daughter was like, I don't need it. So I taught this girl for almost 1 year, this language, and it was very difficult for her to understand most of the concepts. But when she got out of the UK and came here, and she lived out there in the countryside with the grandma, the uncles for almost 3 months, she learned a lot of stuff, almost like things that it would have taken her almost 5-6 years to learn within a span of 3 months, just because of the exposure and the immersion of herself in that language. Of course, she has like the foundation, which I gave her, but now she could understand more things because some things did not need a lot of explanation. She just had to look at, observe what is happening, what exactly are they trying to express. And from there, she was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. So this one can be used there, and this one can be used there, and this one can be used for these things, and because of this and this and this. And with this data, she is able to decode for herself and, separate all the data and put them in, the specific perfect bin of resources where she needs in her brain. So, yes. So. Marina, ulikuwa unataka kusema kitu? I think Marina wanted to say something. Marina?
Oh, yeah. Ndio, well, now, sasa, no, gosh, I can't remember. Cool, I have a question. Cool, who are you talking about? Cool, you said someone who traveled to Kenya, or?
We were talking about like, the topic is, we are talking about learning languages and some of the experiences that we go through when we are trying to learn language and strategies and those kind of stuff. And Eduardo gave a point that, because of the disconnection of the people, like for example, Liz already comes here in Kenya. So when she comes in Kenya, she gets to practice the little things that she has done for me. So for her, it's a little bit different. But you find that for you, Marina and Eduardo, you have never been out here. So you find that as much as you're learning the language, you find there's that, cultural disconnect where you find that things sometimes it's very difficult for me or even the resources online to explain to you like the small nuances in the language and the usages. Like for example, where we find that we have one word and it can be used in like different instances. But if in that specific community, you get to understand because of the cultural background, how they are viewing the things, the way of life, and those kind of stuff. They explain a lot of things like the gaps in between those languages. And once you get to be immersed in that community or that kind of things through the cultural like stuff like this, it will just explain everything in the language. Because as you know, the language, always it's also a part of culture. Like for example, if I'm learning German, you find that the more I'm trying to learn German, the German is also, I'm learning a little bit about German culture because any language just carries the culture of the people. So does it make sense, Marina?
Yeah, I think I caught that. I understood that, but I missed who you were talking about. I
talked about my friend. So I was just talking about my friend. So I talked about my friend. I've been teaching her Swahili for quite a while. Now she speaks better Swahili. Not like the best Swahili, but she speaks decent enough Swahili. But also because there's another indigenous language called Kikuyu out here in Kenya. So I taught her for almost 1 year, but she had a lot of difficulties understanding some stuff, in the language. But when she got to move from the UK and came to live here in Kenya with the uncles, the aunties, and the cousins for about 3 months, she was able to learn more stuff in the language than I would have taught her for the next 5 years, within 3 months. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Samahani. No. Nico hapa. Lakini. Siwezi. Kusema. How do you say earlier? Yeah, earlier it wasn't, but Nina Taka Kusema Siwezi Kusema vizuri kama Liz na Eduardo lakini how I forgot even how to ask. How do I say I agree? Tukopa moja means we're together, understand.
Yes.
What?
Yes, if you agree with us, you say nakubaliana. So let me verify.
Nakubaliana.
Yes. Nakubali means to agree, but kubaliana means you agree with us. Nakubaliana na nyinyi. Nyinyi means like I agree with you. Nakubaliana na nyinyi. Yes, I agree with you.
Nakubaliana. Yes. Yeah. Pia, I meant to ask this or Nina Jaribu, is it Jaribu? Jibu means to ask or Jaribu means to try? Which one? I always forget.
Jibu is the answer, then Jaribu means to try.
Oh, Nina Jaribu, kwa Kiswahili, yeah, no, I don't think I'll be able to. I was gonna say, you have your image on the. Is it possible to move the
A moment.
Yeah,
If
if you move to the right.
Yeah. If you're using a computer, it's very easy to move it. So I'm just looking at it. Yes, if you're using a computer, you can move it, but okay,
Okay.
Moment. Yes, I think that should fix it.
Yeah. Also, qua computer, it's how do you say move? Actually, I think I learned this, but to move. Songeza. Oh, okay.
Kusongeza.
It's to move something.
So it's possible to kusongeza picture. It would be possible to move your picture on a computer, like the.
I think so. You should be able to if you click the picture, you're able to minimize it or like this, and also you can choose a different. If your the Zoom is not on full screen, you find that it might do that again. So you might find if it goes. It's a different setting on Zoom. So I just know that you are able to minimize it or something because I know that I'm able to minimize it on my side. If somebody is sharing their screen, I'm able to minimize it. Like for example, I always minimize videos where I minimize the videos of the rest of the people instead of being a very big screen. I just see one person at the corner. So that's why you see, even if I'm typing something, I always look up and right, and I'll see your videos. Like at the moment, I'm seeing this video. Yes. Mhm. Sawa. Okay.
Sawa.
Safi. So yeah, una swali?
Marina, maybe Amal gives me the chance to say something. Marina, do you know how to say "is it possible" in Swahili?
Yeah. Oh, Asante, actually, I was Neely, I don't remember even how to say. I was gonna ask Neely.
You can say nilitaka kuuliza. Nilitaka kuuliza. I wanted to ask. Nilitaka
Neely
kuuliza.
taka kuuliza too. Yeah. How do you say possible? Yeah.
Actually, Amal wrote it below. Inawezekana.
But
Oh.
but also remember the intonation matters when it comes to this, because if I tell you like inawezekana means it is possible, like in the affirmative, but in the question it's like you ask inawezekana kujaribu na, you know, inawezekana. Yes, the intonation. Yes, so like this, like if you speak Spanish, it will just make sense that like that's kind of a prompt. Like the way you change intonation to make it a question, because you know Spanish affirmative and the question looks the same. So think about it in that kind of terms. Yes. So you just change a little bit of intonation to make it sound like a question. So you ask, like, for example, inawezekana wewe kusongesha picha yako. Is it possible for you to move your picture? You know, inawezekana wewe kusongesha picha yako. Like that. Then I tell you, inawezekana. So in the affirmative, it's possible. Inawezekana. Yes. Same word,
And
but
to ask,
yes.
To ask, how do you say is unasemaje, right? Unasemaje?
Yes.
Okay.
So unasemaji means like, how do you say? How do you say something like, for example, unasemaji, then you put whatever you want.
I always feel bad being the weakest link, but I feel like I'm re-picking up all my Swahili from basics again. I really what's the word I'm looking for? Regressed so much.
You are not the weakest link. Don't worry.
Marina.
Yeah. Unafanya kazi vizuri. That's why we have these sessions, and I always tell people, you know, because I'm still doing this as long as I can, because I still try to, you know, give you guys time, but you know, you're my motivation. So which means that I always block my calendar for this kind of stuff. But if, like, for example, you still come here, you are trying to learn Swahili, you know, that is, I'll still volunteer my time as much as I can. But you find that for me, I'm always very happy to share my language. That is why I always tell Eduardo, because kama kwa mfano, nikisema nitoke hapa Kenya, niende Costa Rica, I'm very happy, hata pale kwenye airport, instead of writing a boarding, welcome Amwell, you know, in the airport, like that kind of a poster, or bienvenido Amwell, you know, that is very boring. You know, a little bit unique, you know, and somebody can say, karibu, na, in Swahili, and people are like, what language is that? We don't, you know, like that. It's very unique, and you just know it's for you, you know, something of the sort. So you find that it's very unique, and also when it comes to conversations with people, like, for example, my cousins, we speak at least 3-4 languages, and you find that it's always very enjoyable because, for example, everybody in the house speaks English, Swahili, and you find that if I'm meeting my Rwandan cousins and we want to talk something like that is a secret, you find that we switch the X language, we go to the other language. Like today, leo, nilikuwa naongea na babangu, all right? And as I was talking na babangu na mama, so I found that in my group, so like this, the people that were listening in the conversation, it's a very information dense conversation, but I have people who speak Swahili. So if I speak with my mom and dad in Swahili, everybody understands that, right? So nimebadilisha lugha, nikaongea kwa lugha ya Kiembu. So Kiembu, it's another language from, yes, it's like a cousin to Kikuyu. So they're almost the same as, not the same, but it's like Portuguese and Spanish. So the way they are. So with Kikuyu, so they are within the same language family, very close. So I switched to Kiembu, and the Swahili speaking friend, they were like, bro, kwa nini umebadilisha lugha tukuelewi? Tulikuwa nataka kusikia hiyo mazungumzo, you know? We wanted to hear the conversation, and I'm like, it's a private conversation. That's why I switched the language. And it was like very superior, you know? For me, I was like, yes, you know? Kwa sababu, it's a superpower that you get to have. Kwa sababu unapata wakati mwingine unaweza fanya mazungumzo ya siri hata kwenye mahali wazi. So you can do secret conversation in a very open place. Yes.
Samuel, is it,
Yes.
oh,
No, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Liz.
No, you go ahead, Eduardo.
No, I was, it's been weeks that I want to ask you something. Do you think that you could make a video where you speak all the languages that you know and then post that on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Maybe.
That would be lovely.
I absolutely. I'm getting to that. So I've been planning to, let's say, to get like time and make scripts actually where I get to explain different languages in Africa, because I found that a lot of people, watu wengi sana, hawaelewi kuhusu lugha za Afrika. So I want to start with especially the Kenyan languages. And from there, I can, of course, as I'm explaining this video, it's like repeating video. I'll put it in the same channel, the TGV Education channel. And because I'm very enthusiastic about languages, so then probably the languages that I speak, I'll speak them and show people how the sounds like they sound. For example, if I talk about like the Kalenjin languages, I'll explain like maybe get somebody, another person, a Marakwet person, Kipsigis, Baringo person, all the subtribes of Kalenjin, and they get to speak different variants and the same thing they say, you know, like for example, I can tell them, just say like, I need a plate of food, you know, like this, and you translate it, then you tell them, can you say this in your language? So you find that there's different variation, different accents, so people get to, they are like, it makes sense. It's cross, but also it's different. They say this word because they, you know, those kind of things. So naweza sema, nitajaribu kitu kama hiyo. So hata kwangu, nitajaribu tu niongee lugha zote. So even myself, as I introduce myself, I can speak Kiembu, or speak maybe Kikuyu, I can speak Kamba, I can speak Meru, maybe also Kinyarwanda, I'll put it there, a little bit of Spanish, Swahili, and English, yes. Yes, that makes 8 languages that, yes.
Hiyo ni ajabu. Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, tunafika muda wa kumalizia hii tuseme darasa letu ambalo ni kuongea kuhusu lugha. I hope you stayed informed in the language, so with the language and everything. So yeah, so pia mimi nitasema nimefurahia sana kukuwa na nyinyi. Natumai mmeweza kujifundisha mambo mengi, na pia kama kuna swali lolote mnaweza jisikia huru kuniuliza swali. If there's any question, feel free to ask me any question so that we can just get to finish. Yes.
Just quick question. Una swali, no, nina swali haraka? No, yeah. Unasema how many? How many?
Lugha nane. I speak about 8 languages like fluently. Si kumaanisha I don't speak other languages. but I'm very confident in 8 languages. I can speak a bunch of other languages, like 5 or 6, but I'm not bragging though. But
Oh, no.
I'm confident in 8. Yes.
How do you say how? That's Mengi, Mengi-sana. How do you say how many in Kiswahili?
Ngapi?
Oh yeah, ngapi. Lugha ya Kalenjin ni ngapi? Like how many Kalenjin languages are there?
Lugha za Kikalenjin. Kalenjin wana lugha nadhani 18 hivi. So Kalenjin is a subtribe. And it carries other different small variants of the languages. So karibu 18. So we have, but the main one is the Nandis, we have the Marakwets, we have the Keios, we have the Kipsigis, we have the Baringo, a bunch of many. Yes, I don't know all of them. I don't remember all of them. I may have to check them, but Kalenjin, they have 18 small languages, like small variants of those languages. And some of them, they are very different with each other. And it's very common, even in Kenya. For example, in my coastal region, we have also the people we call Mijikenda. Mijikenda means like the 9 cities, so 9 cities. So each city, it has different language. For example, we have the Ngiriama, we have the Choni, Duruma, Kauma, Rabai, all those languages. Yeah, so that is. But the Luyas, Western Kenya, also have other subtribes, almost 12 or 13, I'm not sure. So they speak small variants, but because they speak almost closely related, they are put in one group. Yes.
Can you scroll up quickly? I couldn't see some of the vocabulary you typed earlier in the session.
So today we did not write a lot of them. So we started with shughuli, mara ya kwanza, mara moja, uzoefu, ujuzi for experience, expertise, miaka, umri. So for years and age, we have ubongo, akili for brain, matatizo, changamoto, challenges and problems, utamaduni, traditions and cultures, ufasaha, deep understanding of something. So we said ufasaha wa lugha, so deep understanding in language. Then the rasilimali, resources, Kikuyu, one of the languages that is spoken in Kenya, nakubaliana na nyinyi ama nakubaliana nanyi, so which means I agree with you. Then jaribu to try, jibu, answer, songeza, to move something, inawezekana, is it possible, unasemaji, how do you say that? Yes.
Do you,
Sawa?
is it like,
I think so.
I'm sorry. I was saying, is it a cumulative? Do you add to the same document or do you start a new one every, like the link is different every time?
Unless you want me to be adding to the other documents, but this is a different document that I just started. So I'll send the link maybe immediately we are done with the session though.
Thank you.
Marina, so I was going to remember that like 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, on one of the documents created by Amwell, I included an important amount of sentences. Did you get to see that?
No, is that a link that only got sent in the session or is it sent in the website?
It was sent. It was
on
sent.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, we sent it on WhatsApp. If you get to, because we don't usually have a lot of conversations, but also the good thing with the links to Google Drive don't expire. So you can always scroll up, and you can find it. So because just go and find it. So it's very easy. So yeah, you find it.
Great.
Like 2 weeks ago, just go and look at it. So, and we also added some sentences and some other phrases because most of the documents, when I get to share them, I give a lot of students, like if you attended the class, to like opportunities to add vocabularies. And once they add them, so you can take a copy and put it in your Google Drive so that you can continue running Swahili. Yes.
Wait, Eduardo, if you have that link again, you could send it again.
Yes. So anyways, you guys, so I have to get going. So I'll say asanteni sana kwa kuja. Natumai mtakuwa na wakati mwema.
Asante sana kwa kuja, Amwell na Marino. Mbarikiwe.
Pia nawe barikiwa na ukuwe na wakati mwema. Shukrani
Watu.
nyote.
Kwaherini.